Yesterday was a good day to be an Xbox fan. Let's take a minute to talk about what happened yesterday on the Xbox Developer Direct, because we had an exciting set of surprises and many release dates set in stone that will definitely make the Xbox community very, very happy. Let's kick off things with Ninja Gaiden, the biggest surprise of the Direct, that opened the showcase with a, no pun intended, Ninja Shadow Drop of a remaster of Ninja Gaiden 2 with Ninja Gaiden 2 Black. I played a little bit yesterday with the Japanese dub and I had a great time chopping left and right enemies. The game has aged well, although it feels a little bit weird not having the lock-on system to focus on one enemy at a time. But I understand that's how the game is and I'll just have to adapt myself. But overall, really fun game, definitely worth giving it a try as it is free on Game Pass right now. But that was not the only Ninja Gaiden game, because we got some double trouble with the surprise announcement of Ninja Gaiden 4, set to release not in 2026 or 2027, but in fall 2025. It's been ages since we've had a proper release for the Ninja Gaiden Classic series, and that's one of the things that I really liked about this Developer Direct, because it seemed, for at least 3 out of the 5 games they announced, that the focus on Japan is still there. Phil Spencer's promises of giving Japan a platform that could be proud of calling their own by producing games with Japanese developers geared towards the Japanese market is starting to show some results. This new Ninja Gaiden game is co-developed by Platinum Games, Koei Tecmo, and Team Ninja, and given the credentials of all 3 of them, this is going to be an absolute banger of an action game to enjoy in the second half of the year. I've never been a big fan of the series, but this looks extremely entertaining and I'll give it a look later this year. The next game that I want to talk about is Clair Obscur Expedition Fairy Free, launching on April 24. Big surprise, especially coming from a debuting indie developer, showing off a very well-crafted turn-based RPG with a very Cirque du Soleil approach in terms of character and world design. Making a quick pause, did anyone felt like one of the main characters looked like Ella Purnell? Is it just me? Anyway, I'm pretty sure the Japanese audience will love this, and I'm hoping it gets some good reviews from the West as well. The battle design, despite looking traditional, adds some interesting real-time mechanics that should keep the combat fresh. There's also a lot of exploration on top of a fat bumblebee teen man, and overall it feels like there's a lot of passion and creativity put into this title. It wasn't on my radar, but I'm sure I will play it if there are no nearby releases by Nintendo or PlayStation for that date. Moving on, launching also on April, we got South of Midnight. I'm gonna be very honest with this, ever since it was announced, I've always thought something is off with this game. I mean, the concept is great, the art direction is unique and vibrant, I like the setting, the music, and overall the vibe of the game looks really well handcrafted, but the thing that's throwing me off a little bit is the animation style. They're trying to mimic the stop motion animation style, but it looks kinda off on screen. At least visually it looks weird, sometimes choppy, or gives the impression that something is technically wrong. I know this is a developer's choice, so I'm glad they feel confident about it, so maybe once we get our hands on it and play it for a couple of hours, it starts to make a little bit more sense. I applaud Xbox for giving a platform for these kind of games that take risks and try to experiment by bringing new things to the table, at least visually. And the great thing about this is that the game is, as the rest of the ones in the Direct, on Game Pass, so that's a big win. And last but not least, we have to talk about the elephant in the room, Doom the Dark Ages, set to release on May 15th. And as always, id Software is knocking it out of the park. I like the feel of it, the looks, and the action that I'm seeing in front of me. It feels very refreshing seeing a new element added to the mix with a shield that you can use to block and parry some or most of the attacks, giving a new sense of back and forth between you and the enemies. I think it will still be a very fast-paced game in terms of movement and shooting and survival, but this looks to me a little bit more refined. Don't get me wrong, I love the action and madness that we had on Doom Eternal, but suddenly it was too much trying to handle all the different things that you could do with the controller, especially me being a dumb player. It just felt like my dumb hands had 2 or 3 options instead of the full moveset because I didn't have the skill to do so. So I hope things are a little bit more refined here, and I'm sure the game is going to be absolutely amazing with stellar character level and game design, as well as some neat surprises like the mech style fight that they showed off at the end of the trailer. Absolutely stoked about Doom the Dark Ages releasing in just a couple of months, perhaps our very first serious contender for Game of the Year in 2025. I'm really glad for Xbox because they are coming from a rough 2024, with Phil Spencer appearing to be relegated a little bit, with Satya Nadella, CEO of Microsoft, taking over the driver's seat, with Xbox doing some weird decisions that I think Phil will never have made on his own, like some games jumping to other platforms, the whole everything can be an Xbox thing, which basically sets a big question mark as things look a little bit grim for the brand. But apparently, they're keeping their word for releasing a steady schedule of games throughout the year, which is always a good sign to attract players to Game Pass. So now it's time to hand the question back to you. How do you feel about the games that were shown? Leave a grade for the Direct as a whole, and thank you for watching, and I'll see you later on another video right here.